You need to stop using these 5 safe makeup shades because they instantly cheapen your gray hair. For decades, you relied on the same reliable neutrals in your makeup bag. But now that you have embraced your beautiful silver, those old favorites have quietly become a trap. It sounds like a silent alarm every time you look in the mirror. While you think you are playing it safe, these shades are creating a muddy gray cast that drains your complexion and makes you look tired. We discovered a hidden conflict between your new silver hair and your old makeup chemistry, a color clash nobody in the beauty industry is talking about. One so-called natural shade you might be wearing right now is secretly acting like a shadow, making your skin look yellow and your hair look dull. Are you ready to stop the sabotage and reclaim your radiant glow? Why is your safest lipstick secretly your biggest style disaster? Gray hair does something to the light that no one warns you about. When pigment drains from each strand, it does not just turn white, it becomes translucent, almost like a tiny glass fiber. Under natural daylight, silver hair bounces back more blue spectrum light, peaking around 450 nanometers. That is why it looks luminous and cool, almost icy, compared to the warm, muted glow of our old brunette or blonde days. This is not just a trick of the eye. Spectrophotometry studies show that gray hair reflects up to 30% more blue light than pigmented hair, creating a halo effect that makes silver hair shimmer and catch the eye, if you let it. But here is the catch. The skin beneath that silver is changing too. As we age, dermal transparency drops. The collagen scaffolding that once bounced light back through the skin thins out, and the surface turns flatter, almost matte. Scientists call this the decline in backscatter. In our 20s, skin acted like frosted glass. Light entered, scattered, and returned with a soft, healthy glow. By our 60s, the dermo-epidermal junction loses more than 1/3 of its microstructure. Light now passes through and gets lost in the deeper layers, leaving the surface looking dull, especially when paired with matte or neutral makeup. This is where the so-called safe shades begin to betray us. A soft taupe, a classic nude, or a peachy beige. All of them were designed for skin that still had its natural bounce. On mature faces, these pigments just sit there, absorbing the little light that is left, instead of reflecting it back. The result is what I call luminance discordance. Your hair is throwing blue spectrum reflections. Your skin is losing its scatter, and your makeup is stuck somewhere in the middle, creating a muddy, washed-out effect. Optical brighteners, those magic ingredients in white shirts and silver hair shampoos, work by absorbing ultraviolet light and re-emitting it as blue. That is why your favorite crisp blouse or a fresh toner can make gray hair look almost ethereal. But when you pair that cool aura with a foundation or blush that leans warm or muted, the undertone conflict is immediate. The makeup does not just fade, it actively competes with the blue light, dulling the skin and cheapening the silver. This is not a matter of opinion or taste. It is physics, backed by colorimetry and decades of dermatology research. If you feel invisible or tired every time you wear your old favorite shades, it is not you. It is the light, and it is time to reclaim it. In the 1990s, the beauty world crowned nude as the ultimate mark of sophistication. Calvin Klein's 1993 runway sent out models with lips and skin so closely matched, they seemed almost erased. Minimalism as status. Revlon's 1995 Nude Lips campaign turned taupe gloss into a cultural touchstone. And by 1997, Lanvin's Paris shows layered beige and mauve over luminous skin, all captured through Steven Meisel's soft focus. These campaigns did not just sell makeup, they sold the idea that blending in was the new way to stand out. Nude became shorthand for modern, understated power, a quiet rebellion against the bold colors of the previous decade. But the nude palette was engineered for a specific moment and a specific biology. Those original shades were designed for faces with natural pigment, cheeks still flushed, lips with their own warmth, hair reflecting golden light onto the skin. As time passed, the industry kept pushing the same soft browns and peaches, never questioning what happens when the canvas changes. Silver hair reflects cooler blue spectrum light and skin loses its natural glow. The very nudes that once promised effortlessness now settle like dust, absorbing light and flattening features. Flip through Calvin Klein ads or Revlon gloss commercials from those years, and the message is clear. Matte finishes, low chroma pigments, the promise of natural beauty. But on faces framed by silver, these shades create what I call luminance discordance, a dulling effect that blocks the shimmer of hair and the last hints of radiance in the skin. The myth that neutral is always safe lingers, but both science and experience say otherwise. The nude era is being decommissioned, not because we have changed, but because the light around us has. Standing in daylight now, with silver at my temples, the undertone conflict is obvious. The cool aura of gray hair, amplified by crisp white shirts, demands a palette that reflects, not absorbs, the light we have left. The age of blending into beige is over. The new era is about clarity, vibrancy, and letting every photon return. Muddy peach, gray nude, flat brown. 3 shades that once promised elegance now quietly sabotage the radiance silver hair brings. The moment a muddy peach blush touches mature skin, the intended warmth turns cold. Yellow undertones, meant to revive, instead mute every blue highlight silver hair reflects. The effect is like drawing a yellow veil across a sunbeam. What should shimmer is dulled, and the skin takes on a tired, almost sallow cast. Priya, a client who clung to her old peach blush, saw it firsthand. In natural light, her silver hair caught every glint, but the blush left her cheeks looking overripe and flat. She stared at her reflection, puzzled. The answer sat in the science. Warm peach pigments neutralize the blue light silver hair throws, creating a wash effect. The natural glow is dimmed before it can even surface. Gray nude is subtler, but just as damaging. Taupe beige lipsticks and matte foundations that once blended in now erase definition. On skin that has lost pigment saturation, gray nude settles like dust on glass. The undertone sits too close to the cool spectrum of silver hair, but lacks its shine. Instead of balance, features blur, lips and cheeks fade, the face loses structure, and a ghostly pallor takes over. Priya tried her favorite nude gloss, only to watch her lips disappear. No contrast, no vibrancy, just a sense of being faded out by her own makeup. Flat brown is the quietest offender, but the most unforgiving. Sold as the ultimate neutral, these dusty, low-gloss browns were supposed to be safe. On mature skin with silver hair, they act like blackout curtains. Matte pigment soaks up every glint of light, swallowing the mirror like highlights that silver hair naturally lends. Instead of reflecting, flat brown drags the complexion into shadow, making skin look heavy and tired. Even a small swipe on the eyelid can pull the whole face into darkness. A makeup artist once demonstrated how a touch of flat brown shadow paired with silver hair made the eyes recede and the skin appear bruised. The evidence is not just anecdotal. Swatch tests confirm it. When these shades hit mature skin, C-Lab readings drop in both chroma and luminance, proving the visual weight. Participant reactions echo the science. I look washed out, my features disappear. I feel invisible. These are not simple missteps, but the result of a hidden clash between the cool, blue-rich reflections of silver hair and the old, muted pigments that once worked. The pattern is unmistakable. The wrong shades do not just fail to flatter, they drain away the very light that gray hair is meant to amplify. Washed-out taupe is the shade that always sneaks in under the radar. It looks harmless in the pan, a soft, almost pastel gray-brown, barely there on your fingertip. But once it hits skin framed by silver hair, something strange happens. The undertone, meant to be universally flattering, sits right on the fault line between pink and gray. On a younger face, with plenty of pigment and bounce, that ambiguity reads as chic. On mature skin, where dermal transparency is already low and the natural scatter of light has faded, washed-out taupe acts like a fog. The pigment barely registers, but it manages to flatten the cheekbones and erase the last bit of warmth. The cool aura from gray hair, amplified by optical brighteners in every white shirt, collides with the pastel taupe, and the whole face takes on a shadowy, almost bruised cast. I remember testing a new cream taupe blush on Helen, who had just gone fully silver. In the mirror, her cheekbones vanished. Her first words were, "Why do I look like I haven't slept in days?" The answer is pure color science. When the skin loses its scatter and the hair throws blue spectrum reflections, taupe's low chroma can't create enough contrast. Instead of structure, you get a gray cast veil. The face loses its planes and the light dies before it can bounce back. Now let's talk about the most insidious offender of all, overly warm brick. This one is bold, glossy, and full of promise, a saturated brick red that was supposed to add life. But on mature skin, especially with silver hair, brick turns into a spotlight for every sunspot and patch of uneven pigment. The science is simple. Brick shades reflect more red wavelengths, which amplify the appearance of age spots and freckles. The contrast between the warm brick and the cool, blue-rich aura of gray hair creates an undertone conflict so sharp it exaggerates every bit of discoloration on the face. Instead of a healthy flush, you get a patchwork of highlights and dark marks, as if someone turned up the contrast on all the wrong things. This is not just theory. C-Lab readings from swatch tests show a measurable drop in luminance and chroma when these shades are applied to mature skin. In side-by-side comparisons, participants report feeling invisible, or worse, exposed. Marjorie said, "I thought red would make me look alive, but all I see are my sunspots." The emotional toll is real. It is not vanity. It is the frustration of being told these shades are safe, only to discover they sabotage the very light that silver hair was meant to bring out. To drive it home, let's do a quick roll call. Muddy peach, gray nude, flat brown, washed out taupe, and overly warm brick. Each one, in its own way, acts like a dust cloth thrown over a mirror. The vibrancy is dulled, the features blurred, the skin either flattened or made uneven. The worst offender? For most, it's a tie between washed out taupe and brick. But for our next makeover, I'm choosing washed out taupe, the silent thief of light. It's the shade that promises subtlety, but delivers invisibility. And it's time to show what happens when you finally wipe the dust away and let the real light in. A true color reset begins with understanding how silver hair and mature skin interact with light. The guiding principle: select pigments that reflect, not absorb. This isn't about heavier makeup, but about harnessing the science of chroma and finish to restore clarity and structure. Pigment saturation comes first. Traditional nudes and peaches, low in chroma, once blended seamlessly with a natural flush. But as skin loses collagen and transparency, these muted shades disappear, leaving faces looking washed out. High chroma pigments, cool roses, soft berries, sheer plums, carry enough density to bounce light back. A swipe of berry blush doesn't just add color. It visibly lifts the face, counteracting the dulling effect of age. The science is measurable. C-Lab chroma values climb, and so does the sense of vitality. Specular glow is the next cue. Silver hair reflects blue spectrum light, especially in daylight or against crisp whites. Matte makeup dulls this effect, flattening the face. Instead, finishes that mimic the hair's mirror-like shine, such as satin, luminous, or dewy, catch and return light. A subtle sheen in blush or highlighter creates a specular glow, making the skin look awake and alive. The goal isn't sparkle, but a natural radiance. Products labeled radiance or luminous finish signal the right direction. Anything described as matte, powdery, or velvet should be paired with a cream or gloss to avoid a chalky look. Undertone. Harmony completes the checklist. Silver or white hair demands pigments with cool or neutral bases: rose, mauve, blue-red. Warm undertones such as orange, brick, and yellow clash, creating a muddy cast. Product names like cool, petal, berry, or plum usually indicate the right undertone. Swatching next to a white shirt reveals the truth. Pink, blue, or violet means go. Yellow or orange means no. The protocol is simple: high pigment saturation, luminous finish, cool or neutral undertone. Follow these cues and the face reflects light with clarity, turning every strand of silver into an asset. Rosa sits in the chair, her face framed by the same silver hair that once made her feel invisible in every department store mirror. The old routine flashes across her mind. Washed out taupe on her cheeks, a dusting of matte powder, a swipe of beige lipstick. For years, these shades promised safety. Today, they are the control group, the last time she will wear them. The new protocol begins. A cool berry blush, high in pigment saturation, lifts across the cheekbones. The color is sheer but vivid, bouncing light back with a gentle specular glow. Her lips receive a swipe of mauve rose, the kind that mirrors the blue spectrum reflection of her hair rather than fighting it. A luminous foundation, just dewy enough, lets the skin's surface catch daylight. No heavy contour, no thick powder, just clarity. The undertone conflict is gone. Instead of a muddy veil, the face looks sculpted, alive, and open. The science is visible in real time. Where the old taupe flattened her features, the cool berry restores structure. The matte foundation used to absorb every photon, making the skin look dull. Now the luminous finish mimics the way silver hair scatters light, more like glass than chalk. Even the optical brighteners in Rosa's white blouse amplify the effect, throwing a crisp, cool aura around her face. The harmony is instant. Hair, skin, and makeup finally speak the same visual language. Rosa looks in the mirror. Her eyes widen, then water. She whispers that she looks like herself again, her voice trembling. She says she does not look tired, she does not look faded. She is just here. The transformation is not just cosmetic. It is the return of light, of presence, of being seen. Every photon that used to die on matte, neutral pigment now bounces back, carrying the shimmer of her silver hair straight into her eyes. The cheapening haze is gone, wiped away like dust from a mirror. In its place, there is clarity, radiance, and a kind of quiet triumph. This is what happens when you stop hiding from the science and start using it to your advantage. The protocol does not add more makeup. It gives you back the light you lost. Visibility is not a luxury. It's agency. Every time you reach for a shade that lets the light bounce, not die, you're choosing to be seen on your own terms. For decades, we were told that blending in was the safest route, that muted nudes and soft browns would grant us sophistication. But the truth is, invisibility is not the price of elegance. The checklist is simple: high pigment saturation, luminous finish, cool or neutral undertone. Each choice is a refusal to fade, a declaration that your silver hair is not a signal to disappear, but an invitation to reflect more light into the world. This is not just about makeup. It's about stepping forward, unapologetically visible, and claiming the space you've earned. Screenshot the checklist. Tag a friend. Let us reclaim the light together. Janet says, "Don't gatekeep your glow." Right now, the beauty industry still sells nostalgia in a tube, pushing nudes from the 1990s that cloud the mirror just as our silver hair craves clarity and light. As dermal transparency and blue spectrum reflection reshape our features, pigment saturation becomes power, not risk. The era of invisible women ends the moment we demand radiance, not camouflage. Every swipe is a vote for visibility. Tell me, what does your glow say now?